So this is a product that does come with a beautiful display. I don't know the brand. I couldn't like really figure it out because there was not like a familiar brand for me on the stickers by assembly. However, when you're looking at it, you can just see how good it actually looks. I hope the camera actually picks it up over here, but it's very sharp and there's nothing to complain there. So where this machine is quite expensive, yeah, they didn't cheap out on the display itself. The first thing I wanted to do is check out the menu. Simply because when you're going to be pressing this, you can see all kinds of different options. So where I wanted to go to is actually this. Let's see if I can get in the menu over here. And let's see if I can change this option. So this is I have no idea what it says. Okay, this is alignment. Okay, so that's not the thing I wanted to do. Okay, so automatically goes back. I wanted to see if I can find the aspect ratio in this. So we have reset. Ah, there we go. I think I found it. So, okay, we're thinking, no, there we go. Can we change it out? So, no, there was no option for that, I'm guessing. So I wanted to see if we can even rotate it. That's kind of interesting. Oh, let's see if we can change the language. There we go. We can change the language over here. Menu time, reset. But I wanted to see if there's an... Okay, we have the 5-volt LED can be turned on and off. Okay, that's kind of an interesting option. But if you're going to be looking at this, now it's actually in the way I want to have it. So we're having sharpness, contrast. We can change the picture. Maybe we can go into this over here and see if we have an aspect ratio option. But it seems to be, it is quite limited to that. So that is quite unfortunate. Audio can be changed out. Input can be changed, can be switched. Auto selector. Oh wait, there we're having advanced options. Okay, let's go in here. And this is the stuff I wanted to check out. Yes. Yes. We can actually switch out to the aspect ratio. Haha! Yes, so we don't need to do this with the software. Even a 5.4. Wow, 101 user. So there's a lot of stuff I can actually change out. So that's kind of nice. So let's go to the 4:3 aspect ratio and just check out if we can all do it. But let's put it in full now. Some people will help me for this, but however, I just wanted to check it out if it's even possible. The menu is a disappointment. Let me share you why. So at the top, this is not the disappointing part. So we have all kinds of stuff we can play with it. So the main boards are running on, let's say, some rock chip now. So we have like overall better performance, particularly when it comes to, let's say, the Dreamcast. We still have like the hiccups with N64 and stuff like that. However, the options are messy. Particularly when you're going to be looking into, let's say, other settings over here. Okay, settings, there's nothing there. But if you're going to be looking at the all list. So this is not the way how you want to have a list, particularly when you're going to be looking into a lot of different games, a lot of double games, which you can just actually see over here. So that's absolutely a big downgrade. Pressing start will give you the option to actually search. So this makes it a little bit okay now. So let's see, like always, going to be searching for Sonic. But we're still getting the same kind of massive thumbnails. And in here, you can see a lot of double games. That is what they're doing, you know. Putting a lot of different games, or at least like duplicates of everything. But here we can just have a quick overview of stuff that you can actually play with this. And from here, we can just boot it up without any problem. There we go. And it works like a charm. So far, emulation of the Sega Genesis seems to be working just fine. I already shown you before that we can switch out to the aspect ratio if you want to. But the audio is quite good. With most of the games we do have a quick load and quick save option. It's quite a basic over here. You can just actually see a continue, B for exit, make and save and let's say load. However, there is no like slot or a very nice thumbnail that I've seen before. Another thing I noticed, they're using a filter. So let's get into the settings and let's see what we can do there. But what is kind of cool, that with aspect ratio we can also switch fairly easy. By pressing this over here, it automatically goes into a different aspect ratio. That is something really convenient if you want to switch to with a certain game. The menu itself is kind of interesting because there are some new things in here. So first of all, no aspect ratio, of course, because that is implemented in the monitor. Key settings, and the key settings, we're having the EO tester. Here we can test out all of the buttons. So if you're going to be reconnecting a Pandora box or switching out joysticks, you can actually do it and check it out if everything has been connected correctly. So redefine the keys. So if you have problems, you can actually do that over here. I'm not going to be messing it. Combination key settings. So that is kind of new. Something that I've personally never seen before. So gamepad settings, in here we're going to be plugging in controllers. It will be shown over there. And having the gamepad utility wizard, but of course we're going to be using that if you're going to be using controllers. So we can use, for example, the 3 and 4 player games. So we're having the free play. We can set it to 1-on-1 with coins, but it's not of course necessary because we don't have an insert coin mechanism over here. So start and coin, that is for exit mode. Auto exits, select mode after insert coin. He always allowed, you know, stuff that's not, let's say, necessary for this particular machine. Image optimization has been set to HD scan line, or that is an option you can do. I'm going to be setting it to disable. We're having scan QR code. No idea what it actually does. Nobody knows actually. Secondly, Wi-Fi, Game Store, and the App Store. The App Store makes no sense. There's nothing in here. And you can see that there isn't something going on. So we can actually do some new things to it, but it's something we're going to be looking at later on. Disable of burst mode, or the burst settings can be enabled to 5 or 10 times. I'm guessing this is the burst or for shmups. But that's it. Factory reset, when I really do that, it's highly possible it's going to be resetting your SD card. But let's play a couple of games to give you an idea how it actually works. So what I mentioned before, we can switch the aspect ratio if you want to, so that is kind of cool. The audio has been set to maximum now. You can lower it if you want to, over here from the tiny buttons left up. So navigation with everything works quite nice. Okay, so let's see, let's go back to the under aspect ratio. Widescreen craziness. There is no way of, let's say, having an easy button for switching to shmups. Would not make any sense to put this thing in a different position than, of course, just how it actually stands now. I did notice a lot of difference in audio levels between the emulator, so it's quite annoying. So I needed to load it all the way to 10% now. But another problem is that we don't have this very cool, let's say, option that we can play together through, let's say, this special system so far I have seen. So let's get into the game. Normally you could have the option for a second player. So that makes like a second game cool, but kind of pointless. But let's get into the emulation to see how it actually works now on this more powerful machine. So far, it runs better. The button mapping is completely strange compared with the normal portable or PlayStation game. But beside that, I can say that the overall emulation is better now. We're still running a game that can be easily emulated. But so far, so good. But Mortal Kombat 4, for example, with the PlayStation 1 emulator runs perfectly, no problem whatsoever. It does run on native resolution. But so far, so good. So the weird thing is that I still have the idea there is a filter or some of the games. So far I've been testing a couple of games, emulation of the 16-bit era seems to be working just fine. But out of the box, there is a little bit of a downside to this because this doesn't come with a complete set. No, there is a lot of stuff actually missing out on this. So that is quite unfortunate. Do some maintenance, we can very easily just open this up. You can see the tiny black screws over there. There are 6 of them, so let's remove them and lift the panel up. You can do it with or without joystick assembled. You can just lift it open over here. There's not a lot of space, but let's put it in this position so you can do a quick overview of it. So one of the improvements they implemented is that this material is a little bit bigger than the previous model. I would still like make it a little bit thicker, with the simple reason if you're going to be putting your hands on as playing it, it feels less, let's say, cheap. And because of its such a wobbly effect, you can just see it over here. So this should make it a little bit thicker. So far I can see there is not really an octagate like in certain shape, so it is just round. However, you can just easily like switch it out with Senwa or other brands. So the buttons can be replaced also fairly easy, so maintenance or replacement can be done without having any knowledge about soldering or whatsoever. It's just hot swappable. But let's do a quick overview of the mainboard itself. So this is the ZSH, so this is a 23,000 model. Makes no sense, I will show you later on what I mean. Overall the mainboard is very similar to the ones like the Pandora game 3D, but nothing fancy over here. I do see some new connection they're not using. Over here this is the cabling for the, the input for the buttons and joysticks. And what I love about these Pandora's boxes is so easy when it comes to assembly or replacing. However, you need to take consideration that some of the connectors and the back over here, not all of the mainboards will have this. And that connector will also be over here to the input of the board itself. To conclude, the HDMI cable for the input of the back over here if you're going to be plugging something in. So what is kind of wonky, there's this cable over here, you can see it doesn't even fit. It does work, but you can see that it is a different connector they're using. Kind of weird, a little bit of a downside, but besides that, this is just everything about the, let's say, board that's going to be connected to the monitor itself. The two battery compartments over here, and then of course the speakers are 8 ohm and 5 watts, so in total having 10 watts, and I can tell you they sound okay. I would have loved to see a little bit more power when it comes to the audio itself. So the hinges are quite nice when it comes to this Pandora's box or this portable machine. You can just put them in a certain position. I do wonder if you're going to be using it for some time, how this will be. Both of the sides will have 2 hinges over here, and the overall quality is quite nice. So at the back we're finding the input for the power supply, then we're having HDMI out for on the monitor, we're having a VGA, an audio out, volume control over there, the setting button that can be reached for getting into the settings, and we can plug in another device and actually use this thing like just a portable monitor. That's an extra bonus, I think it's pretty cool. But let's power on the device itself. Doesn't make a lot of noise. You can hear the fan, but not to a point it's going to be annoying. So this is the ZSH series. It does have the same intro as the Pandora game 3D. Already mentioned before is that this is actually the same manufacturer, but even now seems to be a new version of some kind.